Hi, willkommen beim Lukas Filmgespräch zu RAQUEL Kapitel 1, Vers 1. Dafür haben wir heute die Regisseurin Mariana Bastos aus Brasilien zugeschaltet. Ihr habt die Möglichkeit, den Film bei der kommenden Ausgabe von Lukas, internationales Festival für junge Filmfans, zu sehen, vom 6. bis zum 13. Oktober 2022 in Kinos in Frankfurt, Wiesbaden und Offenbach. Der Film läuft bei uns im Wettbewerb 16 plus Youngsters. Ich habe heute an meiner Seite Juni und Lili, die den Film schon gesehen haben und einige Fragen vorbereitet haben und auch gleich das Gespräch führen. Schön, dass ihr da seid.
Schön, dass wir hier sein können. Danke.
Ich bin Simon vom Lukas-Team und ich würde sagen, dann legen wir auch direkt los. Hi and welcome to Lukas.
Thank you. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you, guys.
We're really glad to have you. Before I hand it over to Lili and Juni, I would ask you to describe the movie in a few sentences.
Well, the film is about a girl who goes to a small town and she has to deal with her traumas and about her spirituality as well. And it's also about violence against women. I mean, Brazil is a very violent country. And it's a very religious country as well, so we thought it could be a very good idea to discuss it.
Ela será chamada mulher, porque do homem foi tirada. Efésios, Pedro 3:1. Vós mulheres, sede sujeitas aos vossos próprios maridos, porque também o homem foi criado por causa da mulher, mas a mulher por causa do homem. Eclesiásticos 25:26. Toda malícia é leve comparada com a malícia de uma mulher. Que a sorte dos pecadores caia sobre ela.
Now I'm going to hand it over to Juni and Lili for the questions.
In your movie, the characters all have different takes and experiences with religion. And our question was, how did you perceive religion, or in which regards did it affect your childhood?
Well, I'm not a very religious person, but when Fernando, my producer, he invited me to do this film. He wanted it to be a film about a suspense about religion. So I had to do a very big research and to build this character who is completely different from me. But she has some similarities because she's someone who wants to change things, right? I was completely involved with her and about religion, because I was like researching about the evangelical church and going to the church. That was something that I never did in my life. I started to begin to know about a new universe and a new because of this new character, you know.
Have you made a movie like this before, or with similar topics like feminism or something like that?
When you start to work and you start to make films, you see that sometimes you like the same things, and I think it's like the main protagonist as a woman. I think this is something that I will always work with. And I like to do different things, like different universes and stories. But I think I like to work with the main character being a woman, always.
22:18-19. Porque eu testifico a todo aquele que ouvir as palavras da profecia deste livro. Se alguém lhes acrescentar alguma coisa, Deus fará vir sobre ela as pragas que estão escritas neste livro.
E é por isso, minha gente, por isso e exatamente por isso que quando aparecer alguém se dizendo profeta, é muito importante que a gente analise essas palavras à luz da Bíblia, para ver se é verdadeiro ou se é falso, porque ela é nossa guia, é ou não é? É a nossa guia. Amém?
Why did you choose to make a film on this topic? Was there a certain thing that happened in Brazil that led you to do this movie, or was it just out of the blue?
Well, we're living a very conservative wave in Brazil. I don't think it's just in Brazil. I think in the world we can see that, right? But, well, we have like Jair Bolsonaro as a president now, and he's like an enemy of women. and rights of women. So I think now it's a very delicate moment in Brazil, because we're gonna have the elections. It will be very hard elections, and those 4 years that we were going through were like a nightmare, and this kind of stories were really necessary to talk about, you know.
Did you have a favorite character, or was there someone that you could identify with the most?
RAQUEL, she's not like me, but she has this will to change things. She wants to change things. She wants to transform, and I think art is about that, right? And I think she's doing this in the film. I think when you write, there is a lot about you and in those characters, but mainly in the main character, obviously. And she is the one that has something about me as well.
How do you feel about the father of RAQUEL? You already mentioned you're not really religious, so that's something that you maybe have in common.
Well, he's like my rational part. I think just like him about religion. I mean, I'm very atheist, actually.
For me, it was kind of the same, to be honest. So that's really interesting that you felt that way as well. And I mean, mental health already plays a big role in her life, and also the trauma that she experienced with her mother's death. When you filmed it, did you have any professionals, like medical professionals, that have helped you with showing her trauma, or was it just a lot of reading?
No, it was a very big research. I talked with doctors, and I read a lot of things, and I heard things, I mean, about women that were going through violences like the character goes through. So it was really based in real things.
What really stood out to me was the atmosphere that you created with the moody, almost dark sound design and some of the body horror elements. Did you draw inspiration from the horror genre?
In a way, I don't like to say that it's a horror film, but I like to say that it has some things about horror, like Stephen King is a reference, for example. I really like this genre, but I think the film is a drama, it's a mystery, it's not a horror film, right? So the sound is always about her emotions or her memories or the way that she feels. So she's never okay. She's always with something like disturbing her, right? And yeah, I like it a lot as well.
So I'm also very interested in the technical things about the filmmaking process, and I wanted to ask you, how challenging was the night shooting in the jungle?
Okay, we have the cave scenes, right? And it was like full of bats. It was very challenging because the actress was really afraid of it. So we have some firemen. They were getting in the cave and like seeing if it was okay, and okay, it's fine, let's shoot. And then there were a bat, for example. So it was challenging because when you were there, like you get really afraid, you know.
We heard that you had very limited means in time and money, and we wanted to ask how difficult it was to realize your film.
I think it's always difficult to realize film. I think that you have the budget you have is never enough. The time you have is never enough. Even if your story is simple, even if you have like a short story. I was worried because we had like 20 days to shoot, and it's a very short time, but you have to deal with it. I mean, that's what you have. So what are you going to do? You have to look to the script and see what you really want, what's essential for the story, and then you have to make choices. I don't think it will be easier in the next films, you know, even if I have more budget and more time, because if you have more budget and more time, it means that because it's your story needs that, but it's never enough. That's the thing.
Was there something that you wanted to do but you couldn't because of that?
I wanted to do more takes. I wanted to give the actors more possibilities, try some things. You have to know what you want exactly.
Was there a reaction in Brazil that was very difficult for you, or how was the reaction in general?
The film was not shown in Brazil yet. We are going to show the film in Brazil for the first time in October. So we don't have any idea about how it's going to be.
Are you scared of that, or?
No, I'm not scared, because I think we need to discuss it. And I'm really ready for any opinions, because I don't think you have to like the film if you don't want, or you don't have to agree with the film. Now we are living these moments, right, in Brazil, that everything is very very strong. The discussions are very strong. Everyone is like, nobody has any patience about anything. So if you're going to the cinema to see this film, probably you have like something that you want to know about. It's not like people who will hate the film, probably, you know.
Was there a reaction to the movie that especially moved you, or that you still think about a lot?
Yes, because we were in Guadalajara and we were in South by Southwest as well, and always there are women that were victims of violence, and they talk a lot in the end of the film about things that they gone through, and it's really hard to hear, and it's also very moving.
I think it was really powerful how you showed that in your movie, especially through the role of RAQUEL's best friend and her experiencing violence as well. Would you like to talk a bit more about that?
I think all the film was taught to discuss that. So of course we have like the main characters, they were reflecting about how women receive these violences, right? But the father, for example, wasn't a violent guy. He's a nice guy actually, but he doesn't understand her. And it's something that we see a lot, that sometimes we don't have like, you don't need to be a violent guy to don't feel the sensitivity about what women are trying to say, or what they are going through. And I think the characters who were women characters, they are always going through some violence, and the boys in the film, they are always not understanding what women are going through, or being violent with them. But it's not, of course, this is not everyone in the world. This is not my opinion about everyone in the world. This is like the universe of the film.
Yeah, thank you so much. That was really interesting.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Lili and Juni, for the questions. Maybe to switch it around, do you have a question for the both of them?
Yeah, what did you feel about the film?
Yeah, it was a really intense movie, and I'm also not religious, so I took notes as I saw it, and I was like, oh, I have to research a lot, because there's also a lot of symbolism in this movie, I think, that was really interesting, and I had to take a look in.
I really liked the role of her best friend and how there are so many female characters that had experienced church so differently also, and in general I think it was so powerful of you to have that topic and to talk about it.
Mariana, is there anything else you want to add for the Lucas audience?
I'll be there in a few months, and I'm very happy about it.
Yeah, we're happy to have you in October, and we're very happy that we have you today. Thank you so much for your time, and good luck with your next projects.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Bye, Mariana.
Bye.
Ja, euch an den Bildschirmen, vielen Dank fürs Anschauen. Wir hoffen, dass ihr jetzt Lust bekommen habt, euch RAQUEL Kapitel 1, Vers 1 bei Lukas anzusehen. Alles Weitere erfahrt ihr auf unserer Webseite lukas-filmfestival.de und auf unseren Social-Media-Kanälen. Zu guter Letzt noch der Dank an das Medienprojektzentrum Offener Kanal Rhein-Main hier in Offenbach für das Bereitstellen des Studios und natürlich an Juni und Lili für die tollen Fragen und an das Team hinter der Kamera. Wir sehen uns dann bei Lukas 45. Bis dahin.